What if I told you that working harder is not the answer? The secret to success isn't about grinding for 16 hours a day, but it's about using your time and energy more strategically. And actually, this is proven by science. Science shows that productivity is not about how much effort are you putting into a task. Instead, it's all about how efficient you are, i.e., how much time are you taking to finish one task. But the trouble is, we live in a world that really glorifies the hustle culture. It always tells you you have to put in more time, you have to work even harder to fulfill your dreams. But here's the truth. Working more hours does not equal to more success. Instead, it can lead to burnout. And that's the point of this video. I'm going to share with you some very practical tips to use less time and achieve more. Hi everybody, I am a PhD graduate from the UK and currently I am working here in academia. I research around behavior. Why do we do what we do? Alright, you must have seen people who have the same amount of time as we all have, yet they're able to achieve twice more than the rest of us. So have you ever wondered why is the case? It's not about they're putting in more time. Actually, it's all about what they're doing with that time. Trust me when I say that. Do not try to put hours and hours of work just with the hope that you're being more productive. A study in Stanford University showed that once you have worked for 50 hours in a week, your productivity decreases. And by the time you reach 55 hours of productivity in a week, after that, it's extremely hard to stay productive. That means that all those all-nighters and the weekend grinds which you were doing, telling yourself, I am putting in the effort, I'm doing all the hard work, is actually not really giving you anything. Instead, they're just making you tired, and at some point that even might be converted to burnout. So, what's the solution? Well, the first solution lies in the history. For centuries, people believed that hard work was the only way to get success. So in those times, in particular during Industrial Revolution, laborers had 12 hours almost non-stop shifts with minimal breaks. But then, something changed. In 1920s, Henry Ford made a shocking discovery. He reduced the work week from 60 hours to 40 hours. Just to realize that decreasing the work week has actually increased the productivity of the people. This was the first major proof that less is more. And fast forward to today, actually research has confirmed that too, that long working hours can lead to burnout, emotional distress, decision fatigue, and much more. Alright, so how can we work smarter and not harder? My first tip is use Eisenhower matrix. Since the time I have started using this matrix, my life has changed. Eisenhower developed this easy matrix to divide the tasks based on their urgency and importance. And actually, I've also made another video about this matrix where I explain in detail how to apply this matrix in our daily lives. So don't forget to check that out as well. The link must be here on the screen. So based on these 4 categories, you can refer to your tasks as do it now. These are the tasks which are urgent but equally important. Then comes the tasks which you can schedule, because these are important but not that urgent. Followed by tasks which you don't have to do it yourself. Instead, you can delegate them, because these are urgent but not that important. And finally, few things you can get rid of because these tasks are neither important nor urgent. So for example, if your job requires sending a lot of emails in a day, try to send them in a batch. Try to dedicate a certain time of the day to send all those emails at once. Or if you're getting stuck in your day-to-day admin activities, try and delegate those tasks. Or if there are some things which you think are not that important, you can simply get rid of them. And on that, I have created a free template for you to use. You can find the link to my free template in the description. Feel free to use it and do let me know how do you find it. My next tip to work smarter and not harder is block your time. Block your calendar. If something is not in your calendar, that means it's not that important and you don't have to do it. Own your time. Don't let the time decide what to do. Instead, you should be able to dictate what needs to be done. So, you're not reacting what needs to be done. Actually, you're being proactive to schedule and plan what needs to be done. So for example, if you're a student, schedule 90 minutes or 2 hours or whatever time works for you to study, and similarly schedule other activities as well, so you know how much time are you supposed to be spending on which task. For me personally, I schedule my time all the time. I mean, I always have this running joke with my friends that I am run by my calendar, because anything which is not in my calendar, I'm not able to do it. So from my morning routine to my deep work, which mostly involves writing, to my admin related tasks, which are emails and other such activities, my meetings, even meeting with friends, all goes into my calendar because I want to see how my next week looks like. And actually that's also helpful because it lets you understand how much time do you have to spare to do other activities. My third tip lies in the Parkinson law. Parkinson law states that work expands to fill the time. What does that mean? That means that if you have a deadline which is 1 month away from now, you will make sure that you finish that task in that 1 month's time. However, if the same task is supposed to finish in 10 days, you will make sure that the task is done in 10 days. So always try to give yourself less time for something than more, and see the magic that you are capable of achieving the same task in less time as well, instead of dragging it down. Initially, I would just sit down thinking, okay, today is my day to edit my video. Then I started telling myself, well, that's a lot of time I'm putting into editing my video, but actually, how much time in reality I'm spending on editing this video? And the answer was only a few hours. So I started to reduce that editing time, and I was pleasantly surprised to see that I was able to do the same task in a lot lesser time than initially I started with. My next tip to work smarter, not harder, is the 2-minute rule, which really helps to beat that procrastination. Because if you really look at it, people who work smarter are the ones who have learned the skill not to procrastinate and just get to the work. So the 2-minute rule states that if a task takes less than 2 minutes, do it immediately. So let's say you have received an email and you know that responding to this email would not take you more than 2 minutes. Just respond to that email immediately so that it's been ticked off from your to-do list. Doing that, you would also see that your emails are not building up, because sometimes a full inbox also means stress and feeling extremely overwhelmed. Another way you can use 2-minute rule is that if you're starting a big project and you're too scared to make the start, just start for 2 minutes and you will see that after some time you would build that momentum to carry on. Because often getting started is the hardest part of anything. My tip number 5 is the Pomodoro technique. Well, in Spanish, Pomodoro is referred to as tomato, but in here it means that you work for 25 minutes, giving yourself a 5 minutes break. So you work for 25 minutes, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes, 5 minutes. You repeat that for 4 times, and once you have completed these 4 different chunks of time, you give yourself half an hour break to reward yourself. And actually, I have used that while writing my PhD. There are so many apps which you can use. You can also just put your phone on timer for 25 minutes and then set an alarm for that. And what I realized and learned from using this technique, that once you put your focus on those 25 minutes, it really helps to narrow down that focus on that one task you are doing. And ultimately, it helps you achieve the task. And my final tip is Pareto principle, which is 80-20 rule, which means that 80% of your results always come from the 20% efforts you make. Even if you look at your phone, you would have so many apps, but only 20% of those apps you are using more regularly than the others. So once you identify which are those tasks which really need your attention and putting all your focus onto these tasks, you can achieve more. You are halfway there. So prioritize effectively by using Eisenhower matrix, and you can use my free template as well in the description. Control your time with time blocking. Set shorter deadlines for yourself, aka Parkinson law. The 2-minute rule to beat procrastination. Pomodoro technique to improve your focus. And the Pareto principle, 80-20 rule. I hope you'll be able to use your time more efficiently after watching this video. And also don't forget to let me know in the comment section which technique would you follow and why. Until next video, take care. Bye.